Hello, everyone, and welcome to our video on the Gemini New Moon. My name is Emmeline Muldoon, and I'm here again with Jim Delacolli. Hi, Jim.
Hey, still here. Hope everybody's well.
Still here. We're still here together.
Yes.
We get together twice a month for those of you that are new to our channels. We talk about the new moon and the full moon, the lunations each month. So it's a good time to check in with the astrology, see what's going on with that moon, and also see what's going on with the astrology as well at that time in those 2 weeks. So
Yes.
it's a good reflection point. So
Yes.
this new moon we have coming up in Gemini, I will share the screen with you. It happens on the 18th of June at 37 minutes past midnight in the morning, so AM. And that's Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Time. So convert that to your time zones. Now, as we always say on the new moon videos, it's really important to get your intention set and your wishes ready for the area of growth for Gemini for you. So where is 26 degrees of Gemini in your chart? Look at your chart, find that point. That's where the growth is for you. And as always, if it's in the 11th house, it's your sort of power new moon. We have one every year in our 11th house. So it's a great time for manifesting or making your wishes, your dreams, your growth happen. It's a great sort of attraction energy for that. So enjoy it. Do a little, as close as you can to that time of the new moon, do a ritual or just sit down with your thoughts or a pen and paper and work out what it is that you want, because it's good to focus mind, especially with Gemini. Write it down.
Yes.
Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and that's communicate it. That's write it down in some way and get it out there.
Yeah, and just a couple of reminders. It's an air sign that this new moon's going to happen, and the moon doesn't really fare too well in air signs, so you're going to be a little heightened energetically because it's going to be driven from the mental approach with the new moon in Gemini, always is, and the moon's ruled by Cancer, a water sign, so. Know that you might be heightened energetically. And either way, I always like to remind everybody the twins facing away from each other. So two can be varying opinions, can be just the opposite, or they can be different enough to where it's like we're not going to find middle ground. I don't think we want to find middle ground in Gemini. I think we want to look at all ends of the spectrum here and come to a better understanding. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Or doing it in two ways, doing it two times, always Gemini. Maybe we've got two plans of action, two plans, of course, two dreams, two things that we want to grow with this new moon. And we were just talking before this video that during this Gemini season, I have an orchid, and I just realized I was looking at my orchid this morning. It's in bud. It has two shoots that are both in bud. And comment if you know more about this, but it's only ever done one before. So it's had a single shoot, and now it's a double. So I was thinking, oh, that's interesting. Gemini, we're in Gemini season, Gemini new moon, and it's just about to flower. So it'd be flowering by the new moon this weekend, which would be really lovely.
Yeah, and we're going to discuss a few things, but you're going to find your intuition and then your ability from the brain's perspective to merge. You're going to find these things happen, and you'll get a hunch, a thought, so get ready for that. The only thing I want to also throw out there before we get going is the nodes where I have 5 of the 10 planets, which I throw Chiron in there, the main planets. I don't like to convolute too much. I know a lot of you are advanced in astrology, but I'm telling you, I stick with the 10 planets. I can throw the asteroids, I can throw some other things in there, some other points, but I try to stick with the 10, and it gives me so much information. It's mind boggling, but
yeah,
we're gonna have 5 mutable aspect or planets in mutable signs. And a couple of them will be the slower moving. We'll have 1 slower moving planet in a cardinal sign, and then 4 in a fixed. So it's mutable. We must be the master. We must observe cardinal, we take action, and fixed, we're just that. We apply some action, and then we must step back and check at what that action is and how it has affected whatever it is we're doing. So it's a little bit of a blend here, but I want you to know that there's a lot of work that you can do, and you're going to have to use all of the faculties of applying, and observing. So you will need to be the master and the beginner and the novice, and then the one that's pretty good at what they do. So you're going to have all three that you're going to apply. So don't get frustrated here. But no, you are all three, and all three are going to be required.
With Gemini as well, I think it's we always look at like Sagittarius as mastering the knowledge. Gemini is sort of gathering. We are very curious when we've got lots of Gemini, and sometimes our minds are so active and busy, we just buzz around in all different directions. So it might be this weekend with this Gemini new moon that we are maybe we get distracted by the wrong things sometimes, because your mind is looking in so many different directions, and maybe you're really curious about something in particular. So look at what you are being drawn to, or what you are curious about, because that could be a key to looking at what's this new growth or opportunity for you. What are you feeling drawn to? What are you feeling curious about? What facts, what information do you want to gather? Those are the other things that are very Gemini, Gemini-like, is looking at reading, writing. I always think of looking at watching documentaries, because that's something I really enjoy doing. And I have a Gemini moon.
Yes.
Just learning about this for this afternoon, or learning about this for this evening, and then the next night a whole different topic of learning about a different documentary. That there is that element of looking at things, learning about stuff, and also maybe we're going to be looking at things a bit differently, or seeing things with fresh eyes with a Gemini moon as well. Gemini new moon. So, oh, what's this? I didn't see it that way before, but now I see it differently. It's almost like processing some information that you've had, that now I see that in a different way because I've learned this, or I've read this in some way. So learning is very important. If you're thinking about embarking on a course, then this is a great time to think about doing that, looking at it, starting it, or researching it this weekend.
And I'll just toss in there so we can move forward here, that where this 26 degrees falls in your chart, if it's house 1 through 3, you're interested in seed planting and springtime. So what happens at spring? If it's 4 through 6, which that's me, you want to, it's summer and nurturing that which you've already put the seed out, told the universe, this is, this is what I want to create. And then you want to nurture that. If you're in 7 through 10 or 7 through 9, that's fall time, where you look at, you've cared for the plant, you planted it, you care for it, and then it's about harvesting and then getting value for that. And are you where's Gemini for you? Is it in the
11th house? It's my power moon.
Yeah, because you're Leo. So if it's in the 10th, 11th, or 12th house, that's winter time, where you have to reap that. You've already reaped that which you've sown, but it's about then taking that and getting through the winter season, because you're preparing then to get to spring, which is about in the wintertime, we get a little chance to rest, but it's like, are we resting, and are we preparing for where we can go with what we've learned, where we're going to take this? So that'll help you take in this Gemini throughout your chart a little bit. Think of the season, and then take what we've talked about, Gemini, and what it represents. And I think that'll even help you even further here.
Yeah. So pay attention to what interests you. And don't let your mind get too carried away. Sometimes with Gemini moon, you have to apply it, because if you don't apply it, it will just start thinking about its own stuff. Right. So Gemini moon, if you don't give it a focus, it will just think, maybe it will start worrying, going down a rabbit hole or a scroll hole, whatever you want to say. So you sort of try and think of what you want to think about. If you want to read a book that you haven't read for ages, apply that mind.
And we're and we talked about this, if you watched us through the fall and winter, and now that we're here, we're in this time of the universe is not going to be very accommodating, I guess how I'll put it, to those that aren't like applying or willing or looking to apply that which they know and are. So you really should be finding what matters to you, and putting that out, and then getting after it. The separation of evil and good, and light and dark, and right and wrong is happening now. If you haven't noticed it, then you're in probably bigger trouble than Emmeline and I can help you. But if you have, it's about taking and then going and living your life, not anybody else's. Don't do just what we say. Let it filter in. Do what you know to do, but please do it. Don't be lazy here, please.
Yeah, I think with this 29 degrees of Capricorn for Pluto here in his chart, he is making a big noise, and he's dipped back into Capricorn. And I keep saying it's the last time until the 20th of January when it goes back to Aquarius, but it actually dips back in very briefly at the end of 2024 as well. So this one of the last times it's going to be in Capricorn for 250 years. And it's, making us think back to 2008, making us figure out what it is that we need to leave behind in some way. So what hasn't been good for you, don't try and redo it. Try and let it go and find the new, because that's what Pluto's trying to ask you to do. Sometimes we don't want to transform. Sometimes we don't want to change. But Pluto's saying, look, if you haven't had the hint yet, and you keep going back to the things that don't make you happy, then, well, if I'm going to have to force you to change now, and it's a forced for the better, because, maybe you've been stuck in a job you really don't like, and now it's going to make you leave to find a job that you do like. It's that kind of change.
Yes. That's absolutely the truth.
Yeah. It's trying to leave you better. But it might be scary. Sometimes change is scary, but Pluto is all about that transformation process.
Well, some people are going to change a whole way of understanding, like maybe their grandparents and parents have taught them, and then they're seeing things from a perspective that isn't exactly in line with that. And so it's the awakening of getting out of this trance that a lot of people have been put in. So prepare yourself.
Yeah, so that's our first new moon with Pluto back in Capricorn. So, and it's at 29 degrees, so it's at an anaretic degree, which makes it very powerful. It makes it very important. The symbolization of Capricorn is stronger when it's at an anaretic degree. So it's
last chance, they call it.
Last chance. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And Saturn.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and Saturn's big in this chart because it's stationing as well. It's moving retrograde. So it's like, okay, here's the other big guy saying, we want you to revisit and revise some stuff as well.
Yeah. And then you've been seeing since 2008, Pluto in Capricorn. The world isn't as it seemed, or there was a lot hidden that's been revealed. This is a continuation here as it's snuck back in or sneaking back into Capricorn. This moon's going to help you just see more of the truth, more of what really is versus maybe what appeared to be. And you're the one that brought up last time, so I didn't have to go there, but you talked about the aliens, and I forget the other topic, but it was...
Oh, it's the NASA. Yeah, the NASA.
yeah.
Talking about the conference we're going to investigate these UFO sightings that we've had over the last 30 years. Yeah. That they said they can't explain. And then look what happened the next week. We had a UFO sighting in Las Vegas. Yeah, it was funny. Yeah.
Spot on.
Lots of UFO stuff in the news right now, it seems like. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah. So I watched that movie Signs the other day because I saw so much UFO stuff going on. I was like, do you remember that old movie with Mel Gibson? We should watch that movie, which is a great movie. If anyone wants to.
What was the movie? I didn't hear you.
Signs by Mel Gibson.
Oh, Signs. Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
I love that movie. I love the symbolism and I love the lesson. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's a good writing.
Yes.
good Gemini movie.
Yes, it
lots
was.
of nice words in there. Okay, so yeah, Saturn's stationing in his chart. So what that means is, you know, the symbol of Saturn is strong, and Saturn wants us to be responsible and it wants us to work. So whatever we're starting here, we need to work at it, and we need to put the effort in to get the results that we want. So that's okay. We can do that. That's not a problem. We don't mind doing some hard work. Saturn's going to help us do it, because also it's sextiling Jupiter in this chart. So it's saying, yeah, you know, if you want to put the hard work in, we'll make it bigger for you. We'll make it happen. Jupiter is in Taurus. Put in the groundwork, slow and steady growth. It's nice.
Yep. Yep. I had Sun and Moon are going to square Neptune, and you know, I always like to just put up one headline topic. How are you fooling yourself? You know, is we talked about the Gemini being the twins facing away. This is a great time to uncover and sort through. Neptune is water driven, and Gemini is air driven. So break it down, and don't be afraid to say, man, maybe I missed something, or you know, maybe you got to dig deeper into something that you were fighting against, and it might get you to a better conclusion. I'm not going to say you're going to change your mind, but I think you're going to open your mind, and you're going to open your soul, and you're going to blend them. Opportunities here or the potential. So
Yeah, there's a lot of nice aspects, and a lot of aspects here that sort of help us work hard. We've also got Saturn, that strong Saturn there, squaring Mercury, and Mercury is the ruler of this new moon. Yep. Gemini ruled by Mercury. So with it making that square, we can think about here how we want to be disciplined, how we want to be observing, what we want to be communicating. You know, it's almost like if you are going to study, you are going to start, you know, you want to apply your mind. It might feel like you've got a lot of work to do, but you can work hard to get some good, clear, concise thinking done.
And I'll throw this in there, because I've been chatting about this with a lot of people, is that we've been kind of led down a path where, oh no, you have to make it complicated. It has to be a hard work. It has to be a lot of work. But start noticing and picking up that the obvious is right in front of you. Don't miss it. And it's probably you're going to realize, and when you start coming to this mode or that understanding, these planets are helping you big time. It's probably going to be way more simple, and not so far out of reach where you have to go through 55 steps to get there. I think you'll be amazed at how fast and how rapid this thing's changing. It's just up to you to learn how to be a master, so to speak, and don't miss the obvious, and keep it simple. I think you're going to like what that does for you and where it takes you, because you're going to see a lot of congruent energies that are going to help you to get there, whether it's a person, a dream, a thought, or an article or whatever. You'll really find that, wow, I'm in line with some stuff, and it's the universe is really pushing this back to me to help. So don't miss that, because it can be simple and it can be obvious.
Yep. And another helpful, nice aspect we have is Mercury, that new moon ruler, is making a nice sextile with Venus.
Yes.
Which is always very charming, very charismatic, very good for socializing. So, you know, might be wanting to talk about stuff, might be enjoyable to have conversation with someone and socialize. And there's a lot of, you know, harmony that can come about with this aspect, harmony with other people, with your relationships in some way. So it's a good opportunity to try and resolve conflict as well. So, you know, like words can be smoother or easier. So if you've been feeling like there has been some problems with a relationship or something that you want to talk about, then this is a good chance to get those nice flowing words. I always kind of think about lawyers when I think about like a Mercury Venus in a good aspect. Having been a trial attorney myself, you know, when you're on a roll with a good closing speech or a cross-examination, it's almost like a magic that's flowing, and it's like a chemistry, and it's exciting, it's nice, and it's challenging, and it's fun. And that's kind of this aspect here. You know, how can the
Absolutely.
words be fun? How can they be useful? How can they be romantic or charming, or yeah, good time to write actually this weekend, or read, isn't it?
Yes, very good. Very good. Yep.
Start a book. Join a book club this week.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a nice one as well. And you know, we've still got Jupiter hanging out there with the North Node. So we're all this stuff that we're working on is really pulling us towards our future destiny in some way as well, which is nice, because it's still 5 degrees away from the node there.
Yes. And then the last aspect that I have written down, we can talk about whatever, is um,
Yeah, I think I'm done with all the aspects.
have we done Saturn square Mercury?
Did we do that one?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
well,
Sun.
I touched on it, but yeah, you
Okay. Well, sorry, Sun, Moon, you did touch on that, and I don't need to say anything more. Sun, Moon, trine, Saturn. It's not by sign, and it's like 10 degrees, but
Hmm.
don't miss the opportunity of you taking that. That's why I talked a little bit earlier about taking that more serious approach, or taking the approach of if I do take a step and I do put my effort in, that it can bring some results that may be amazing of you.
Yeah.
Discovering something new or understanding things from a perspective maybe you haven't. So it's not real tight. So I'm not going to say any trying. I'm always in fear of being lazy, or thinking this is like it's how it's always going to be. I don't want you to do that.
Yeah.
Saturn says do the work, but I do like that the opportunities are going to be here for you to find a new way of understanding, and by doing your part, or your the work, then I think you'll like where this does take you. So even if you do argue with yourself internally, I'll love that if that happens, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yep, good. I think I'm done with all the stuff I had on my notes to talk about.
I am as well.
Yeah. Okay. Stop sharing the chart. Well, I hope you have a lovely Father's Day new moon in Gemini.
Forgot about that. Yes, that's right. Happy
Yeah.
Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Saturn is stationing on Father's Day. So it's like, Saturn represents the father in some way. So maybe we really are thinking about our fathers, or that it's making us think about the authority figure in some way in our life, who that father was or that grandfather was for you. Maybe we're reflecting on it in some way, and how we feel about that relationship. Also, one thing I noted is the moon is going to move into Cancer on Father's Day as well. So I wonder if there will be, like we were discussing earlier, maybe some feeling of the feminine, the female, the wife having a say in what's Father's Day supper or dinner is going to be,
Right.
some way, but a very caring time to be with your dad. Cancer's very family, very emotional. So
Yes.
should be a lovely Father's Day for everyone.
Yes, I hope you enjoy, and I really hope you find find the obvious that might be right in front of you, and keep things simple. I hope that does come into your realm, and that you're able to do that. So, as always, both of us are appreciative of all that you do, and we're appreciative of the comments, the views. Keep liking and sharing and watching, and we're grateful for that. So, because we're all going to a better place, and it's speeding up. So let's get there.
Yep. Until next time, everyone, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Enjoy.
Bye. Bye.